You can now get a 30-day trial to experience The Athletic for free. Visit the link in the description below to try it now. The great team that falls short of championship success is a common sporting story, but few have had as big and lasting an influence on their sport as the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns. It started with the appointment of an offensive visionary. The Suns initially hired Mike D'Antoni as an assistant coach in 2002. But when head coach Frank Johnson was fired in the 2003-04 season, D'Antoni was promoted. The Suns finished the campaign with a dismal record of 29 wins and 53 defeats, losing 40 of the 61 games D'Antoni oversaw. But they began to make strides the following season, after acquiring a point guard perfectly suited to executing his unique offensive approach. Phoenix drafted Steve Nash in 1996, but traded him to the Dallas Mavericks 2 years later. The Canadian went on to establish himself as a star in Dallas, and the Suns were intent on bringing him back to Arizona as a free agent in 2004. Nash preferred to stay with Dallas, but the Mavericks were unwilling to match the 6-year offer that Phoenix had tabled. "I'm glad to be going somewhere they really wanted me," Nash said, and he was also tailor-made for the system that D'Antoni was creating. The Suns' innovative offense was originally conceived as a means of overcoming their biggest barrier to success in the Western Conference, Shaquille O'Neal of the LA Lakers. "If we were to line up as a traditional team, they're going to beat us. He's too good," D'Antoni later reflected. So the Suns would combat size with speed, aiming to create high-quality shots within 7 seconds of gaining possession, a philosophy that stuck despite O'Neal being traded to Miami in the East that summer. D'Antoni's side played fast and small. Amari Stoudemire, originally power forward, was deployed at center. As one of the most powerful dunkers in the NBA, he was the perfect pick-and-roll partner for Nash. And Shawn Marion was moved from his usual small forward role to power forward. Downsizing the lineup meant they could field more shooters, and just as crucial to their plans, the fast breaks that gave them their nickname, 7 seconds or less Suns, pioneered the spread pick-and-roll. On the wings, Quentin Richardson and Joe Johnson, along with Marion, were tasked with spreading the floor, stationing themselves outside the three-point line to leave more space inside for Nash. As a fast and athletic point guard who was one of the best shooters in the league, Nash was the perfect player to bring D'Antoni's vision to life. Coming off a screen, he could drive to score, lob a pass for Stoudemire, kick out to a shooter, or pull up from three, depending on how the defense reacted. The Suns finished the 2004-05 regular season with 62-20, the best record in the league. It was the third best year-on-year improvement in NBA history. D'Antoni was voted Coach of the Year, and Nash was named MVP. Nash, Stoudemire, and Marion all earned All-Star and All-NBA selections. In the first round of the playoffs, the Suns swept the Memphis Grizzlies. Next up, Nash exacted revenge on the Mavericks as Phoenix won in 6. But then the runaway Suns train came to a crashing halt. Hampered by the injury absence of Johnson, they lost to the San Antonio Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. The next season, Johnson was traded to Atlanta. The Suns acquired Boris Diaw, who'd earned that year's Most Improved Player award, and free agent signing Raja Bell added elite wing defense. Knee problems meant that Stoudemire played only 3 regular season games, but Nash was again named MVP, and the Suns reached the Western Conference Finals where they lost to the Mavericks. The Suns posted a 61-21 record in 2006-07. Stoudemire played all 82 games, and Nash was runner-up to Dirk Nowitzki in the MVP race. They saw off the Golden State Warriors in the first round of the playoffs before a controversial rematch with the Spurs. Late in the 4th game of the series, Robert Horry hip-checked Nash to the floor. Amid the ensuing shuffle, Stoudemire and Diaw left the bench, not to join the melee, but to check on Nash. In doing so, the 2 Phoenix players broke the NBA's rule against players leaving the designated bench area and were banned for Game 5. And with that, the Suns lost momentum and were eliminated in 6 games, squandering perhaps their best chance of a championship. They lost to the Spurs again in the following season's playoffs, this time in the first round. D'Antoni then left for the New York Knicks, where he'd reunite with Stoudemire 2 years later. And in 2008-09, Phoenix finished 9th in the West, missing out on the playoffs. They did reach the conference finals once more in 2010, where they were beaten by Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. And in 2012, Nash, aged 38, joined the Lakers, extinguishing the last embers of the 7 seconds or less era. An indication of how this Suns team influenced a quickening of play in the NBA can be found in the fact that their fastest average pace, a measurement of possessions per 48 minutes, would have ranked only 24th in the 2021-22 season. In Nash's first season back with the Suns, they ran more pick and rolls than any other team, with 22% of their plays originating from pick and roll action. Only one other team averaged above 20% that year. 5 years later, 2/3 of NBA teams ran pick and roll plays at least 20% of the time. By 2015, all 30 teams did. And in the 2021 season, no team ran pick and roll in less than 25% of their finished plays. The Suns' use of a small lineup and their emphasis on three-point shooting established a blueprint that has helped Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors become the most successful team of the last decade. The legacy of this 7 seconds or less Suns echoes through the NBA to this day. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do enjoy TIFO, you'll probably also like The Athletic. It has the best team of basketball writers in the world in a personalized experience connecting you with the teams that you care about the most, plus direct access to world-class journalists through live Q&As. And you can try it now for free for 30 days.